Blynd Submyshynz, where DIY bands submit songs for us to listen and react to blind. Every week, we'll bring a guest from the underground music, arts, or entertainment scene to help you sort through mountains of new music. We go in blind, so you don't have to. Blynd Submyshynz.
Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of
Blynd Submyshynz. I thought you were gonna do like a little beat, and then yeah, man, that
we gotta work.
out
We gotta
so
work
well.
on that.
We gotta work. I thought we were gonna do some harmonies.
All right, so hey, this is gonna be the shortest intro ever because today we have on Mr. 2 Minutes to Late Night himself, Jordan Olds.
Not Guarcinio.
Guarcinio Hall.
Who will it be when we turn on the camera?
He goes by many names. We have Jordan for exactly an hour, so we are going to haul fucking ass. So if you don't know 2 Minutes to Late Night, go check it out on YouTube. We talked about it here a bunch. Musician, video producer, and comedian out of New York who's been putting together kind of a late night show at St. Vitus. Mutoid Man, his backing band, all throughout the pandemic has been cranking out these kick-ass covers, including a cover of a Rush song by Les Claypool and Danny Carey, and then he just launched. So it'll be about a week ago now. A new streaming series using the Bandcamp streaming platform called Splitsville, where two bands join and they each cover each other's song, and then you can go on and watch them. Perform the songs and buy exclusive merch and order a
Was the first one on Friday or was that the second?
That was the first.
That was the first one, right?
Yeah, it was the very first
Cave
one.
In and Every Time I Die.
Yes. Yeah, so
it was good.
It was really cool. So that's enough of our yipping.
Let's get him on here
because we want to go ahead and admit Mr.
Gotta crank this.
Jordan Olds.
Hello.
What's
going on, fellas?
Oh, just recording a podcast in an extra bedroom with a green screen hanging behind me. How about you?
Yeah, you know what? Realizing that I need to get a green screen because you're just seeing this attic.
Oh, that's fine.
I'm seeing an amazing poster on the wall is what I'm seeing. Is that David Coverdale? Is that Whitesnake?
Where?
The one that
this is
behind your guitars.
That's Van Halen. How dare you?
Oh, is that Van Halen?
Yeah, it's hard
That
to
is
see.
David Lee Roth. How dare you?
I can barely see it. It's not big enough. I just saw hair.
It's that poster is actually from the basement of St. Vitus. It was there for a really long time.
Oh, dang.
It was just the Van Halen poster, but someone tagged it. Which is fine. Like, tagging's great. I love that. But they tagged like all over David Lee Roth's face, and like George was like, "Well, this is ruined," and was gonna throw it away. And then Drew, my teammate with 2 Minutes to Late Night, was like, "I will take it. Give me the boy. I will raise him." And he cleaned off the graffiti and then immediately realized, oh fuck, I have no place to put this. And then which is what happens with everything 2 Minutes related, is Drew kind of like goes to hoard it. Like if there's a prop that we made, he's like, no, we can't throw that away. Like any of the weird shit we've made for like Cannibal Corey costumes or
posterity
Kyle Kennedys. Yeah. And, well, he takes them and then ends up inevitably giving them to me.
To you.
So I have like a house full of weird costumes and katana swords from this fucking show.
That's amazing.
That I would have thrown away. But I love this. I love the
So
Van
he
Halen
restored
poster.
it essentially.
Yeah,
he did like a fine art restoration of a Van Halen poster.
If by fine art restoration you mean he'd like hit it with a Lysol wipe before those were extinct.
That's what I mean.
I'm glad it worked. I'm impressed that it worked. I would have assumed you would just ruin the poster by doing that.
That's what I would have thought.
I might have gone to Magic Eraser.
I think he just had an idea for the material before going in. It worked.
All right.
That's good. That's good.
This has been Band Poster Restoration 101.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Take care.
So is this why you had to move upstate so that you could move out of the city so that you could have a place to store all this shit?
Yeah, absolutely. No, it was my my lease was up, and my landlord decided he wanted to sell the building.
Oh, that'll do it.
He and his family just don't want to travel to Ridgewood anymore, so he was selling it, and I was like, oh, okay. And I was like, all right, well, I can look for another apartment, and whatever, or I can just I don't know, I guess I can just take another step towards like getting my dog some real space, giving me some real space, at least for like I don't know,
for now.
We still don't I lost my job at the beginning of, like, my day job at the beginning of the pandemic, and that allowed me to kind of go all in on 2 minutes. Like, we were already kind of like overwhelmed with the bedroom covers by that point, but that, freed me up to really pay attention to that. And I was like, well, I don't have to go into an office anymore. I don't really have I can't stay in this apartment. I was never gonna find another apartment like the one that had a proper, like, at least some kind of yard for my dog and enough space for the money I was paying. And for the money I was paying, I found like a house just an hour outside of the city.
That's crazy.
It's got a huge yard for my dog. She's happy. I got like, a couple bedrooms. It's awesome.
That's
Nice.
great. Yeah, your dog's a little bit of a celebrity in my house. I've had 2 minutes to late night videos on enough that my wife goes, "Is he in a different house? Is he gonna find another skinny room where he can fit that love seat?"
Dude, that love seat was originally in like the living room of my apartment, and originally, I've never said this before, but originally my plan when moving into the apartment, that skinny weird room in the back, it's connected to the backyard, and my plan was, oh my god, it'll be the first time I'll have like a quiet bedroom because it's not facing the street. And my plan was to like just shove my mattress in there and make that room I was like, this is just where sleeping will happen and it'll be great. But my upstairs neighbors have like had the loudest children, so they would just stomp on top of that room and wake me up. I could hear every bit of it because it was so goddamn quiet.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, we're switching it up. So I threw my bedroom into the front room, which had way more space and was a better call. And then I turned that into like, I was like, I guess this is going to be the office. And then magically this couch that the previous owner just left in the living room just fit perfectly in that weird like makeshift room,
that little nook,
little back nook.
I was like, I think it's gonna fit, and we put it there, and I was like, this is fucked up, but this is where it's gonna go. But I realized, like, I was like, this is gonna be a music room because it's just nothing but loud children up there. Like, fuck them, whatever. Yeah. I can play
right back at you, assholes.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking babies. But anyway, whatever.
Look, I had 2 of them, and I agree with you 100%.
And they're loud.
And now all they do is stomp around upstairs and make noise.
Yeah.
His kid, regular sight at this house, is a what? How old is Addie? 10?
10.
A 10-year-old roller skating down the hallway at midnight.
Just back and forth.
Just back and forth.
It'd be like that. That's
She's
another
living her
reason
best life.
I have this. I have a whole. I mean, there's still noises. Like you'll never be fully free. I realize, like even though I have like a house outside, like there's just gonna be shit.
Oh, it always comes with shit.
Forever.
Usually when you have a house, it comes with insane neighbors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I have like my neighbors are pretty nice. There's just like my closest neighbor, who's a really nice dude, just chain smokes like cigarettes outside, and he has very loud dogs. And luckily, like my dog, it's not getting my dog to bark. Like I I worked. We did a lot of work with my dog, and she just doesn't want to bark anymore. But just in the morning, like I sleep with a white noise machine still, like I did in the city, because every morning it'll just be coughing and dogs barking, and it's just a weird vibe. Like it'll be serene, quiet, and then all of a sudden, like, it's crazy.
That's funny. Yeah, I have a little outside space where I go to get some peace and quiet, the little
Your
cooking
nook.
area. And the family next door, the kids, the like grown sons that still live there, one of them is learning to make beats. So he and his friends go in the garage, which has a window right next to where I sit and hang out, and smoke pot and make beats for hours on end. And it's just like, what do I have to do to get out of here and get some quiet?
Yeah, dude, I don't know. Yeah. It's right. Well, I have this. This is the quietest space in my house, which is weird because then I am projecting the most noise from here.
Of course.
Yeah.
Might as well. All right. So in the intro, we talked a little bit about 2 Minutes to Late Night in the Splitsville series, which was fucking cool as hell.
That was awesome.
Yeah,
awesome.
we
so much
sat
fun.
down at 5:00 on every Friday, pretty much, unless we have something else going on. Because this is my bubble here. We're a two family bubble.
Right.
Make pizza and do whatever, listen to music, and it was perfect. So we just sat down on the couch, had a little 15-minute concert, and then went back to went about our business for the rest of the night. But
where did that idea come from?
Yeah,
well, we've been I mean, I it kind of came from, of course, like we do covers on the show because we want to like we do covers because we've always wanted 2 Minutes Late Night to be a show that kind of gets people who aren't into metal. Yeah. So like kind of the goal was like, all right, well, we can transform a song that isn't metal into being metal, and that'll maybe get someone who likes that song to pay attention. And same goes for artists and whatever. Like we'll get artists to form whatever. Like basically, we're just trying to expand who the metal audience is and make it kind of less of less gatekeepy.
Yeah,
but sounds familiar.
The Splitsville came out of just like really it number one, it was kind of Drew's idea, like the concept of bands covering each other came from Drew, because we were coming up with we were trying to come up with ideas of like, what can we do with what could we do that's cover based that would actually help bands a little more financially? Like that's where the bedroom covers came from, is like we can give, like we started doing those because we were like, all right, well, it'll give artists something to do. Like it was right at the beginning of the pandemic. We were starting to do the bedroom covers anyway before the pandemic. And we were like, okay, well, we can probably churn these out really fast now, and we can use our Patreon money. We can switch it to not really be about the show or the podcast anymore. It'll be about these covers, and we can pay them. And sort of Splitsville came out of a discussion of like trying to, like, what can we do to help artists right now? And also kind of try to play in the live stream space in a way that feels a little bit different. Drew pitched that idea, or just was mentioning, it was like it'd be really cool to just see bands perform as like other bands. Yeah, because one time I saw like Weezer just decided to be Black Sabbath one night, or it was Rush, and he mentioned like how Primus turns into Rush and just is Rush.
Well, they canceled a whole tour of that I was gonna go see.
Yeah,
sadly, my two favorite things.
Primus was gonna tour and just do Rush covers.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, they were gonna do a whole.
Wow.
What are they gonna do? Caress of Steel? They were gonna do like one whole
they were
record.
Gonna do King or whatever.
Farewell to Kings.
Farewell to Kings.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, it was a tribute to Neil.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
who was a friend.
Gotcha.
And, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
They've done this before, though. Apparently, like they turn into a Rush tribute band. But
I have 20 bootlegs of them playing La Villa Strangiato live and a whole bunch of other stuff. So
hell yeah. But we thought about live streaming. We were like, all right, well, let's try to do something that's a little more must see. We want to do something that feels like it won't happen. And like a live stream should be, you're never gonna see this again. It's gonna be
special.
It's gonna be special. Also, it's not just gonna be a band performing their set to nobody, which is fine. Like sometimes that's of course how this was gonna start. But live streams, I think, it can't be that. It can't. That's not a sustainable option, because that's I don't know. You can't hold someone's attention performing like an art that isn't for that medium. Like a concert is its own thing.
Yeah.
And you can't. So we were like, all right, well, let's try something short. So we came up with. We were like, we should do live streams. We wanted the bands to cover each other first, and we were like, we're probably only going to be able to get each band to learn one song, but also that's probably the right amount of time anyway for people these days. I think like have a smaller ticket price, have a shorter stream of something that isn't just of bands doing something that they normally don't do, and that'll be probably a really like, I hope it could be something. And then we kind of built the 7-inch aesthetic around that, because we were like, this is actually like old 7 inches,
old splits.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which we love. So then we kind of built
Yeah, it was good, and from a viewer's perspective, I thought it came off really well. It was entertaining. I could have taken more music, like if each band had played one of their own songs, like dusted off a Rarity or something, but not much more than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
the time was good, and I definitely like that $5. I mean, look, we promote live shows when that's a thing that we're allowed to do,
right?
And, that $5 price is just that price that everyone's like, yeah, okay, all right, I'll do that. It's like the commitment level, coffee. It's like Starbucks commitment.
Yeah, no, I mean, in my heart, I wanted them to do entire sets.
Of
like
course.
I would want to see that. But I think for the also keeping in the spirit of like the specific splits that we're thinking, like the specific 7 inches that we're thinking of, like it is only one song for the most part.
Yeah, completely.
It's one band performing the other band. Like we did an interview with Keith and Steve before the event a week prior, and like Steve brought up like the split EP that they brought up was two hardcore bands that I've never heard of. They're called Hoover and Lincoln.
Hoover and Lincoln.
Oh shit.
Do you know them?
I know Hoover.
I don't know either.
I know Hoover, but I don't know Lincoln.
Hoover and Lincoln did apparently a split, and like that's the one that they were thinking of, and they just that's just two songs, and it meant a lot to them, and that's sometimes all you need. It also made it way more, I think, like seeing other songs would have been cool, but if we did more songs, it also would have ruined the surprise element, which I think was really key for like the fans, but mostly the bands. The band, I think, like the fact that neither band knew which song the other band was covering made it really exciting for them.
That's really cool.
And they were popping off in the chat the second like they found out, like with everybody else, what song
what it was
performing.
Well, I think too, talking about how you were saying you're trying to reach that audience, you know what I mean? And if you're like, if this is people that maybe have not heard these two bands, but they turn into 2 minutes, they're like, I can listen to 2 songs. That's easy.
Yeah.
I'll pay my $5 and listen to 2 songs. But if it's like,
Totally.
oh God, $20 for a whole concert of this band, I don't know.
Dude, the other thing is I've bought a ticket to a live stream of every band that if there's a band I love or just a band that I want to support that put on a live stream, I bought a ticket to it. I have not watched an entire live stream. I haven't watched, not all the way through. I've started it and then I'm like, fuck, it's either I gotta go do something or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really have the time. It's not the same. It just isn't the same thing as a concert because I'm not I'm not building my entire night around it. I think it's hard to.
Oh, completely.
It's hard to demand that much time. I think you can do stuff. I think it's cool when it happens. And if there are people who are watching entire live streams, like that's awesome. I think that a lot of them, like they're even the well-produced ones. Like my favorite band is Kvelertak from Norway. I think they're
high five.
They're my favorite recent band. I think they're incredible. But they had a really fun idea for a live stream where they put a bunch of B-sides on a wheel, like a Wheel of Fortune wheel, and just spun it. And then they were like, whatever it lands on, we got to play, even if we haven't played it in
Can't
years.
Remember it.
That's awesome.
that's
and
fun.
they made it like a game show.
Yeah, that's fun.
Super fun. But even then, like, after like 40 minutes, I was like, I'm checking out a little bit because this is not, it's not like I'm not there with it.
It's not the live experience.
It's not like a movie.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing. It was fucking awesome. And I love ideas like that. And I think there is something, but I think there's stuff we got to play with. I think there's got to be, we have to kind of change what we think that live streams are. I think like we got to think less concert and more Fantasia.
Yeah. I like that. But I love the extra animations that were on the cave-in side of the production. That was fun as hell. And it's like it was so, I mean, we were like yelling. I kept going, here, take it out of full screen. I want to see how many people are on. And I don't know what it peaked at, but it was close to 1,500 people concurrent, like when it was actually live.
It was like almost 3,000 people at the peak.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Which was cool. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Some people leave, others join. It doesn't count that. Yeah.
And then you had the 24 hours for people to come in, and then you have people who buy tickets meaning to watch something and then forget.
Yeah. That's
so
also me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, completely. That's me 100%.
Buy a ticket. Oh, that was today. Fuck.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many concert tickets I've given away. I just don't have the energy tonight. You mentioned that at the beginning of the pandemic, you got laid off, your work stopped. Is the goal to turn this into something that you don't have to go back to work if you don't want to? Like this becomes work?
I kind of already, it kind of did.
Yeah?
Fuck yeah.
Like really fast, it transformed into something that could remain exactly as helpful to the musicians that I love as it was, but also like I could
compensate you for your time.
It was cool. Yeah. I'm grateful for it. It's been, I'm so tired. I'm so exhausted, but I feel like I feel fortunate that I've had this much stuff to work on and this much stuff to throw myself into so that I'm not, I have not been stewing this entire time.
I feel that for sure. Because in the moments where I haven't been so busy and had time to stew, it's never been good.
Right.
The busier I am, the better this has gone. And I've got kids in school and constant chaos around the house. So there aren't very many quiet moments where I can just
Non-chaotic
go
moments.
stew on shit.
Right.
But they exist. And I'm glad, lucky to still be working, and for a totally different reason, my work only gets busier when shit gets crazy like this. So
right,
it's like I haven't had a lot of time to go, oh, what's going on around?
What's going on in the world?
Yeah,
what's going on?
I mean, we try to, always. It's also been good because we have the show. So if we're frustrated with the way that something is happening in the world, like we can try to pivot and use the show to be helpful. Like
yes,
like the Rush cover, we gave all of that, all of the funds from the Rush cover. Even still, if we ever do anything with that Rush cover, all of that money is going to the Cancer Research Institute. We like, Killing in the Name, like a song that popular, we normally wouldn't do, because it's one of those, it's really popular, and it's been covered by literally every person that's ever been alive. But we were like, okay, I had an idea for how to transform it into like a Slayer song, and I was like,
Yes.
okay, we will use like all people of color to perform it, and that'll be something different, and that'll be something cool. And we, at the same time we were putting that together, we we were able to like hold like a raffle for this old stupid Ibanez bass that I had lying around. Like it's been on the show a lot, and it did. Was
it like an Iceman bass?
It was an Iceman bass. It was honestly a really great bass. I bought it for nothing, but it played great. It sounded pretty good. I had a couple opportunities to like get a new bass, and I needed one anyway. So just for some others for the show and also personal projects. So I was like, okay, we can raffle this off. We raised like $5,000 for the Okra project, which is a really cool charity that helps like transgender people get like appropriate food and help when they need it. It's awesome. It was really cool. So we're just trying to, because of, and we're only able to do that because of it, to make it helpful, is because of the growth of the show and people.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I have been
to us, which is cool.
I've been watching since near the beginning of the first videos that came out. I think got there through Mutoid Man, who I've been a huge fan of since the very beginning. It's like, oh, what's this Mutoid Man cover? Oh, why are they at St. Vitus in Brooklyn? And then just like have consumed all of it since then. But really, in this last year, I think you saw the whole thing kind of blossom. And I loved, we've met a few people who've like taken advantage of opportunities over the last year to pivot or do something different or go all in on something that they weren't before. And it's been inspiration, because not that many people have been able to do that. You know what I mean? It's like, whether the opportunity's not there, there's missing a skill set, or don't know what to do. But it has been inspiring to see people who like go hard in on something and like open up a new set of doors. So it's been cool to watch from the outside.
Thanks, man. It was, it's I think we were lucky that we were planning to do the bedroom covers anyway, because it was the problem. The biggest problem with 2 minutes is we weren't able to be like a reoccurring thing. Like we have like a higher than normal production value, at least our standards for it. So it's hard with like a very low amount, without like proper studio backing, to like get an episode done in a timely fashion. So we've never, like, if you've been watching since near the beginning, that when we even were doing the first season, like it was like an episode every 2 months, I guess.
Quick, there's a new one. Really?
Yeah.
I
time?
get.
No.
Yeah, damn. But it's, we wanted to do the bedroom covers because we were like, we have there's a ton of people that want to be on the show, who are musicians that we love, but it's hard to find the time.
Yeah.
To like, hey, it was every conversation was like, hey, are you free on this date and gonna be in New York, not playing your own concert from 7 to 11 p.m. It's hard. It was hard to figure that out. So one of the first ones we put together was like we were planning on doing the Chelsea Wolfe cover for 3 years.
Oh wow.
Like she wanted to be on the show performing specifically Crazy Train for 3 years. So we were like, this will be a way we can probably do it because she's so busy. And then right after that, it all really took off, and we had enough seeds planted that we were like, shit, I think we can put these out once a week.
I mean, it was like, at first I was like, that's ambitious, but he's going to run into a wall at some point here. But they just kept coming. Must have been that lack of sleep thing.
Yeah.
Who was the artist that was like most personally awesome for you? Like that you were like, I can't fucking believe this person, that I'm involved in something that this person is playing, singing, working on.
God, like everybody,
all of them. The one that fucking blew my socks off was Max Weinberg, obviously.
Yeah, that's probably it. Like, well, that's it. Like each one was like amazing. I think the turning point was probably, I think because of Chelsea Wolfe, we were able to get a lot of other people. I feel like, but I think the big turning point in the show came from Bill from Mastodon. I think he agreed he liked what we were doing. I hit him up about the Kate Bush cover with Emma Ruth Rundle. I was like, I don't think there's any way that he's gonna want to do this song, but maybe this arrangement will be appealing enough. And he dug it, and I think that's one of my favorite song transformations that we've done. And I think when we did that, then Bill got excited, and Bill kind of put together the Rush cover is all Bill.
That
was Bill pulling all of his like big his like big phone calls all for one song for our show, and I appreciated it. But that's the thing is I was never a huge like Primus, like I'm not a Primus person, but I never really gave him a shot. It was Tool, Primus, and Rush are all things that I'm like, these are all things that I haven't tried yet.
Sure.
But when he presented me with that idea, I was like, I was like, listen, they're tracking, if the FBI is tapping every phone, whatever. If there's one nerd in the FBI and he finds out that I said no to Danny Carey and Les Claypool performing Rush, I'm going away. You're never gonna see me.
Seriously.
Yeah. If I hear about you're in deep shit if I hear, and that's just like but time and place. You know, I grew up in the Bay Area in the 90s, going to small clubs and seeing Primus. It was like I'd started playing bass, and then I was like, "Who's this freak? Yeah. What is this? What is this wild ass music?" I love them still. Some of it I go back and listen to, and I'm like, "Oh, really?" But I could say that out loud.
So do you do mostly the arrangements for the songs, and then the musicians kind of figure it out, do their own little thing, or do you just kind of present the idea and then let them sort of figure out how they're going to cover it?
So for the most part, I build the entire arrangement in Logic and like with robot drums, and I sing it. And that's you can actually, if you if people are when people buy the like Bandcamp releases of the EPs, like there's sometimes we'll put like as a bonus track
the demo.
my demo of one of the songs.
I've listened to a few of those.
Oh boy. But they're, it's I'll build it and as intensely as I can to be so that they can get like the full vision of like what I'm hearing, and then I'll make like playthrough videos if the song is really ambitious, and then I will and then I send them like a stems folder and kind of give them free reign to take it from there.
Yeah, that's cool.
I give them as much information as possible. Like, here's how I'm hearing this riff. Change whatever you want, though. And sometimes I'm always happy with what I get back from everybody. I'm like, this sounds better than what I thought. And you can hear it because you can hear the demos.
Yeah, it's fun. That process is great too. I'm working on my second big album of covers, Deep Purple this time around, and like anytime a track lands in your inbox, you're just like, ooh, what am I about to hear? We just Buddy just told me that Yob just finished tracking Perfect Strangers. So it's like, I'm like, come on. I got to hear what that sounds like. And I remember when we were doing the Thin Lizzy project, fucking Jeff Matt sent over an early mix of their Vagabonds of the Western World. And it was just like, I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I even had some little part in getting this, from there over to there so that other people could listen to it. That's so fun to see what people do.
It's got to feel great, like writing these arrangements of these songs for all these musicians that you really admire and probably always dreamed of working with.
It's super intimidating, and there's just there's times where I'm making like a playthrough video. I'm like, what the fuck am I doing? I shouldn't be teaching this person how to play guitar. How to play a guitar riff. This is fucked up.
Yeah, I can imagine that actually. Yeah. All right, so we sort of previewed before you hopped on that we got you for a short-ish time for this show. We got some talkers here who go as long as like 3 hours. So I do want to make sure we listen to a couple of songs and just fulfill our namesake. Although I have a bazillion questions, and if you want to come back sometime, we'll definitely have you come back again. Cool. But let's go ahead and listen to some music. So we put the word out. Other people put the word out, and bands from all over the world just send tracks, send Bandcamp links to us, and we close our eyes and pluck emails out, and then just listen. I haven't listened to any of these songs. I don't know who any of these bands are, and we just kind of take the temperature, listen to a little bit, talk about what grabbed us, what didn't grab us, and move on. Yeah. So the first one is oh damn, I had a fun game to play with you too. We'll get that next time. The first one is Pandamaniac is the name of the band, and I'm actually going to share my screen with you on Zoom so that you can see, so that everybody can see.
Pandamaniac, is this? It's going to be a bedroom cover band.
Maniacs. They rebooted that, right?
I have no idea.
They just did.
They did. They released it, and I need to watch it. All right, so. Here we go. So this is Pandamaniac. Oh. And the song that we're going to listen to is called Astral Sex with Demons.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
And that's
otherwise known as ASWD.
ASWD. Is that a new YouTube channel? All right. So let's give that a play.
Oh boy.
That was me. I fucked up.
We almost got some lyrics.
We're about to get singing. Ready?
Okay, let's do it.
Yep.
Ooh.
All right.
Is that some organs right there at the
I
end?
get the gist.
Or an organ right there at the
I
end?
think it might have been a harmonized guitar.
Yeah, it sounded like it. Born of a quarantine, gone crazy in isolation, virtual sanity through file sharing, emails, and Zoom. So the submissions we get fall into a couple of buckets, but definitely like pandemic projects is one of them.
Been getting a lot of those.
One of the common, and you can usually hear like there will be some programmed drums often.
Yeah.
Because as I'm sure you know, trying to track drums, you know, in the absence of someone who knows how to set up a bunch of stem files and give people the tools they need to play along is not easy. You got a lot of people learning how to use this shit during the quarantine, which I'm all about.
Ben Kohler trying to figure out robot drums was a journey.
Really?
Dude. Yeah. There's a reason like there's the white zombie cover with the robot drums, and then every other cover is back to real drums. It didn't take. The drums are cool. It's just he's very he's
a drummer.
He's Ben Kohler. He's very
he's not just a
about
drummer.
wow.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Drummers are.
I dug the. Are we critiquing this?
Yeah,
now?
go for it.
I when it started, I was like, I kind of dig this guitar tone. I kind of like this clear, but weirdly dirty neck pickup tone that they had going on. It was pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like a pandemic project. It sounds like
sure.
Half serious. To me, it doesn't sound like anything that's probably going to go anywhere. But, you know, one thing we end up talking about a lot is, you know, Bandcamp's an interesting new world in a bunch of ways. But in the way that a band can form out of nowhere and then we can all, like, document their journey from whatever this is to, like, the album they make that puts them into an arena. Because that's, you know, that's a possibility for anybody. I don't know if it's going to be the case for this band. And you know, we've seen that, like, bands improve a lot over the course of their time. Whereas, you know, I don't know, I've been in a bunch of bands. You probably have too. There's probably all kinds of recordings that you never posted online anywhere for anybody to listen to. But it kind of seems like everybody posts everything now. Why not?
I don't do. I'm still just. I don't know. Like, music is sensitive. If it's like funny, I'll post it. But it's hard if I like. I don't think I've ever put out like anything that didn't have like a little bit of just like a humor defense. So, I mean, I guess so did these guys. These guys kind of have one.
Yeah, I'm thinking this is
I think so
sort
too.
of a tongue in cheek.
Yeah,
It kind of felt like when the vocals came in, I was like, oh, this kind of sounds like Hank and Dermot's band from the Venture Brothers. I don't know if you guys watched.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, totally.
I was like, it sounds like Shallow Gravy.
Shallow Gravy. I'm gonna sneak about halfway through and just see if anything changes.
Changes up a bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
It did.
Yeah, I think the whole thing's probably kind of tongue in cheek, which I'm all in for.
Did we go right in the middle of like some weird like alternate? There was another singer, right?
Yeah, I think there's like a preacher yelling about Jesus.
Okay. Was that a sample?
It sounded like.
Okay. Yeah.
Samples. Bringing it back. We're 2005, baby. Here we
Samples.
Well, thanks,
Bringing them
Pandemaniac. Keep having fun during the pandemic.
Yeah, seriously, man. Whatever you have to do to get through it.
Seriously.
All right, let's do another one here. This seemed interesting. This is a band called Vazum.
Or Vazum.
Vazum? Who can say? Vazum.
Oh, okay.
And the album is called Vazumnacht. They're a 2-piece, I think.
Good lipstick. Well done.
Yes, nicely applied. JD said he was half tempted for me to show up and for him to be in full corpse paint. So he did not do that, but it would have been fun. All right, this song is called Carol of the Witch, and they're from Detroit, Michigan.
Okay, here we go.
All right, I have to pause it because I'm about to say words out loud that I never thought I would say. Vasumnacht is a Krampus-inspired dark holiday EP.
That fucking
That makes sense.
rules. Fucking rules. At first I was like, this is
Carol of the Bells.
Yeah. And then I was like, oh shit. Wait. No, that's the whole it's in there. Fuck, that rules. I love it.
That's
I love
amazing.
a Krampus themed dark holiday EP.
It sort
that
of
fucking
sounded
rules.
Yeah, the singer sort of, I was getting sort of like a Marilyn Manson vibe from the vocals.
We don't need
really?
to talk about him today.
No, dude. That dude has been done for years.
I know.
I don't know why he, of all the people to just like, I was always shocked at how like people, the metal community has given this guy so many goddamn chances, and like even musically and like his live shows have been a disaster for like
years,
a decade. He couldn't even perform. It's like, well, why do you even? He's had reports of being a fucking creep to people for years. I have been anti-Manson for a hot minute,
long time.
It's just about time that
Good. Never been a fan.
Can't we just take all those people that like him and then just aim them in the direction of the 10,000 other bands that they would probably like? If they would just fucking stop listening to him.
Yeah, Rammstein and like Rob Zombie. Like Rob Zombie is way more fun.
Yeah.
Way more fun.
Maybe.
And if you need it to be horny, there's Rammstein. There you go.
And more flames.
Yeah.
If you need more fire.
Much more fire.
Fire.
The outfits are so much better with Rammstein.
Yeah. It's like still with the upside down crosses and like the hack religious imagery that you've been leaning on for
it's
20 years. Yeah, it's silly.
The faux Nazi crap. Yeah. But like even like if you like go to Rammstein. Like it's sexually gross, but it's all consensual at least.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
That sounds like a good tagline, actually. Rammstein. It's sexually gross, but it's at least
consensual.
It's consensual. Yeah, everybody said yeah.
All right, I want to hear a little bit more of one of these songs. All right, so if that's what they do in Carol of the Witch, what's Unholy Night?
I don't know.
All right, well, the audio will still play.
Will it?
Yeah.
Cool.
Are you sure?
I am sure.
Okay.
I'm the tech guy.
I didn't believe in the prophet.
Dude.
It's no longer. All these years waiting for a savior. He hasn't saved us. He's destroyed us.
Yeah! Fuck yeah!
It's so good. I love them.
It's like taking me back to like Skinny Puppy, Front 242, like really early industrial.
Yeah.
It's like the Hellfire Club.
Yeah.
Electric Hellfire Club.
Yep.
Electric Hellfire Club. Sorry.
Yeah.
But Krampus themed, and that fucking rules,
Yeah.
Yes.
man.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Our buddy Eric was actually one of the drummers for Electric Hellfire Club.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'd like they're cool. Good job, Eric.
yeah. Good job, guys.
Good job, guys. No, I like that a lot. They got some merch. This was also a home. They did it for Halloween this year.
I think this was
a home project.
I love it. Like that's like I think it's really fun. It's very funny to hear how like I could kind of tell it was like a home project because I was like they found some really good like synth sounds probably in Logic.
Yeah.
But don't have but then they probably just don't have the gear like that's properly set up for like a guitar or a vocal, but that doesn't fucking matter because it adds like a black metal element to it that I really like. I'm like, fuck yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of ragged. You know what we've listened to based on this reaction that you would love, which is another Bandcamp find, is Cat Temper.
Cat Temper.
So it's another
Cat Temper?
It's another kind of like early industrial sound. But all of the songs are about cats or cat themed. And on the latest record,
different vocalist on every
track. He got
track.
a different vocalist for every track, and all the songs are like about cats violently ripping mice up or doing whatever.
They're not just cat themed; they're about like cats killing things themed. And like,
what's
it's
the album
real.
called?
It's real cat support.
Yeah, and it's all it's all pun. The album covers more than a feline.
More than a feline.
And
well,
right?
Yeah, I listen, by default I have to like it.
Yeah.
Based on how much of my I pay my rent with puns. So I support him.
Dude, like every song on it. Yeah.
This rules. Vazoom?
Vazum.
Vazum. Yeah.
Dude, I hope they should keep going. They should do more
100%.
stuff. I think it's great. I think more Krampus Industrial is very fun. I'm not even that much of like an industrial, or I guess I am. I just like it when it's gross like this. I like White Zombie. I don't like it when it's like mainstream and horny, like a Manson.
Yeah.
Like boring horny like Manson.
Give me some Prodigy. It's messy and
yeah.
Ministry, but they're not lacing anyone with drugs.
Yeah.
All right, let's do one more real.
Do we have time for?
Yeah,
one more?
we'll do one more real quick before we'll say goodbye and let you go.
We still got to get to the the good part.
Yeah, what the good part?
It's all the good part.
Oh, fuck you. All right,
you
so
tell
I got
people you're waiting for the good part, and then they keep listening.
I got choices. We're gonna do Cardboard Coffin.
Cool. Hell yeah.
This is what Cardboard Coffin looks like. So you can see again. It looks like that. Again, I don't know where he got our email address.
Wow.
I'm just gonna go with it. Yeah,
I don't know, but it looks like something I might actually really like.
Yeah. This is
looks
called
like some dirty old country.
Yeah, this is called Home. Cardboardcoffin.bandcamp.com.
Bold move to do DI with the acoustic guitar.
Yeah.
Wanna go home. I got to keep on keeping on. Well, my baby left me alone. Guess I better keep on keeping on.
I want to go to a ghost town somewhere on a family vacation and walk into the bar and have these guys playing on a tiny stage in the corner.
So did you say
This
bold
is a
move?
bowling. This is like this is like perfect bowling alley country.
Yeah.
Like you go into a bowling alley and there's like a band playing. All right, cool. It's not.
Yeah.
It's they're definitely solid. I kind of I'm spoiled with country now with like Tyler Childers and like Sturgill Simpson. Like
Yeah.
there's just like a creativity in the newer country that it spoils like this type of country for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, I think so too. Well, this is all I really needed to hear. This started as a demo to send to breweries and wineries.
There you go. Should we call it or
Fuck
what?
yeah.
Bowling alley, it's close
No,
enough.
it's totally. I mean, but this is the type of country I was raised on. Like my dad was a cowboy, and this is what we'd listen to on 8-track in his truck. You know.
Well, that's cool.
For sure. This is the type of country like I grew up in Colorado, and I remember just my lifelong dentist had a waiting. He didn't seem like a guy who would listen to country. It seemed like his favorite band was Huey Lewis. But in his like, which is I love Huey Lewis, but like always in his waiting room was just like working 9 to 5, get a light beer after work, kind of like like radio country, and it was always very confusing for me. So that reminds me. But I'm just shocked that they like you're gonna direct input plug in the acoustic guitar.
I know.
The whole,
that's what I thought you said, and I was like, God, it sounds so bad.
Yeah.
It sounds so bad. What's the point of an acoustic guitar is you don't have to plug it in.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
And
It sounds good when you don't do that.
Yeah. And you don't even have to have much of a mic to make it sound okay. It's not like you need fancy equipment. Just put a mic near the hole and
Stop. I think we need to every guitar company needs to stop the electric acoustic guitar. A hollow body,
100%.
The
great.
electric acoustic.
Electric acoustic. I have never. Anytime someone like plugs in an acoustic guitar, I'm like, I'm not gonna like what this is.
yeah, no, this is bad.
If you think that this is what this is supposed to sound like, I'm not gonna like what you think songs are supposed to sound like.
My buddy Dan in high school, he's a guitar player, and his parents bought him an acoustic, but they bought him, you'll know what I'm talking about, that Ovation with the round back and all the holes. The fucking plastic back, and it's got like little decorative holes all on the top. God, it sounds so bad. It sounds
I
so
believe it. Yeah,
terrible.
those look like fancy serving spoon, like ladles.
Yeah. I will
Did
say
we-
the thing that I did like is you couldn't tell the difference. Like you knew this was country. Where like country radio, like you just mentioned, you'll hear stuff on country radio and go, "Is it country?
Yeah.
Is this
Is
what
it
country
actually
is
country? Yeah.
now?" Yeah.
It's pop music.
Yeah.
All right, time check.
Yeah, we got a few. Did you guys want to do? You want? In the email you said you wanted to talk about gear.
Yeah, if you got any stuff to
Oh
show
yeah.
off.
The merch
Yeah,
table.
the merch table where we show off where we spend all of our stupid money buying
Yeah,
records
okay.
and stuff.
Gear,
I have a really
records.
special piece to show off today, so
Yeah, you do.
yeah, I do.
So do I.
How much stuff are we doing? Just one each?
Yeah, sure.
Couple
Whatever.
things.
If you got
Yeah.
if you got a thing or two you want to show off.
Whatever you want to share.
Well, I should show off. I should show this off because.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Oh, I know what that is.
This, you sold this to me.
I certainly did.
I was thinking it looked familiar.
I was involved
Yeah.
in a gear transaction, and I
Yeah.
loved seeing it in a video too. It was rad.
That's
Yeah,
amazing.
I've used it a couple of times. It's gonna appear in more stuff, but yeah,
Cleaned up pretty good.
dude. Yeah, the electronics just needed a little bit of polishing, but it plays great. It sounds great. I've wanted an old BC Rich for a long time. You cut me a great deal on it, and it sounds awesome. It's my like this. This is my these dudes. I forget what they're called. They're my like favorite like P bass tone.
Yeah,
too.
they're P bass pickups.
Yeah, it's these specific guys have I forget the actual model, but they got the best P bass tone in my opinion. So I'm stoked to have this. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And the dude who designed a lot of the electronics for BC Rich has a shop now. So if you ever need parts, he remakes everything. So if you're looking for kind of vintage replacements of anything for that, there's a shop for it.
That rules. I also want to show off this. I recently got a Nighthawk for the first time.
Ooh.
Which is, I've wanted one of these for a while, and I found this for super cheap. I found one that was beat to hell on I forget if it was Reverb or eBay or whatever, but I found this thing and it arrived with the paint like all kind of chipped off and it just smelled like a cigarette's fart. And I like that. I had my friend I knew my friend is a luthier and he did an incredible paint job. Like he painted the like weird Bride of Frankenstrat thing that I have.
Oh,
that you see in a lot of those. And
yeah.
He gave it this beautiful purple burst.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
Look,
yeah.
I've never played one of those actually.
They're really cool. It's got a tone that's very similar to like a Telecaster, but it's like a darker kind of Telecaster, which is cool. Yeah,
I wouldn't expect looking at it. It looks like a tilted Les Paul.
Like this little twisty boy gives it I guess it's probably it's like a small humbucker in there.
Oh yeah.
And then there's the mini burst bucker, which has like, God, it's like now my favorite like neck pickup tone. Anytime I need like a neck pickup lead, this is what I'm using.
That's the one.
This is the boy now.
Yeah, that's pretty. It's good to know people who know how to do things too.
It's great. I love that. And then this is
pedals.
Boy.
This is the
that's one of Sasha's
Eidolon
pedals.
is one of Sasha's pedals. This rips. It's literally it's just 3 pedals in one thing. It's just what you need to like get lead guitar, like guitar. So it's a guitar solo tone in a box, but it just has it's got the boost, the delay, and the reverb all in one, but they all sound good. It sounds exactly like what you need. And
you can take your
refreshing.
Your carbon copy and whatever is your favorite boost and your dispatch master off your board and just have that one one boy there. I keep trying to talk my guitar player into getting one of those for just that quick lead boost. Who else was showing that off? Oh, I was just watching a video, I think, of Nate Garrett talking about how he's thrown one on his board for a European tour so that he can slim things down.
Yeah. That's
That's awesome. All good stuff. With Sasha's coming on at some point here. As soon as he finishes recovering all the way. I had to remind him that I was one of the devoted listeners of his podcast, where they would pit 2 songs against each other, the Fight Cast podcast.
I have not even heard this.
Oh, go back and find it. It's pretty. They were like 70% committed to doing it, so every episode's like a half apology for how shitty the episode is. But I loved it. I thought it was great. And they would like pick 2 classic songs from a year and like kind of pit them against each other. Which of the 2 is the better song, the better song for 1986 or for whatever year they picked. All right, what do you got?
What do I have? Oh man, I got a record.
What'd you buy?
I got
I know.
Magnetic Eye, Elephant Tree. This is the Elephant Tree one.
Recorded at St. Vitus.
Yep.
The rules.
The Day of Doom. They did a whole bunch of well, not a whole bunch, but I think they did like 4 or 5 bands.
They did, I think 3. It was Chris Johnson from Summoner and Deaf Heaven recorded like a bunch of the sets the day that show was going on.
Super good.
And
awesome. Just in the mail today, right before the show started, I got my Heavy Metal Shop hoodie.
Hell yeah!
Heavy Metal Shop is this music store in Salt Lake City, Utah, that's been open since like 1987, and that's all
awesome.
they do. It's just heavy metal, punk, hardcore. Like the guy is one guy, Kevin, that's been running the place forever. It is the best. So if you're ever in Salt Lake, you need to go check out the Heavy Metal Shop.
Heavy Metal Shop. All right.
That rules.
All right. This will be fun. So we discovered, Mort Garson. So do we know Plantasia? Do we know the story of Mort Garson?
Yes, Plantasia, yeah.
So Sacred Bones actually put out all of his like records. They re-released everything.
Oh, cool.
So I of course bought the Emma Ruth Rundle and Thou record because I was on the Sacred Bones site. But then I got
the first
that
pressing.
record is unbelievable.
It's so
good.
it's so good. All right. So
The new song that Emma and Chelsea did is incredible. It just came out on Friday. It's beautiful. If you haven't checked it out. Emma Ruth Rundle, Chelsea Wolfe.
Nice.
The Sergeant House Avengers are assembling. It's amazing.
Seriously, that whole crew, man. We're close with the dudes in Horseneck, and of course,
hell yeah.
Of course, Jess is Chelsea's drummer. And I just love a label like that that's like real eclectic. You don't necessarily think it would all go together. Somebody's clearly like got a taste and a vision and curating it. And Sacred Bones is like that too. Sacred Bones is like that too. It's like why can I get the John Carpenter soundtracks, the Mort Garson records, and Thou all from one place.
Dude.
But then I got two of his other records. One is The Unexplained Electronic Music Impressions of the Occult. Ooh, so this is like
check that out.
Synth impressions of different occult phenomenon.
Damn.
And then the last one is the Black Mass Lucifer, which is all the satanic stuff that Mort did. Yeah. So, but most important,
you loaded up this week.
The best T-shirt in the history of time. The Plantasia long sleeve T-shirt.
Oh, except the green is probably.
Oh, it's got a hardcore long sleeve.
Yeah,
that's great.
Of course. Which is now
Love
green
it.
screening.
The
I'm
hardcore
sure.
long sleeve. I like that.
Dude, I've before I leave, I want to put over, dude, because we were talking about Splitsville. The new Every Time I Die songs are unbelievable. If you haven't checked, if you're not as familiar with that band, they're a band that just keeps growing and getting better each time. Like I remember like they're a band from like that was special to me when I was in like high school, and it's rare to see a band almost just each record they're trying to match where I am, what I'm looking for maturity wise. I'm like, what the fuck is going on here?
Yeah.
What is this? But it's incredible. Their new songs are just everything's an ass beater.
I need to check it out because he and I were talking about this. They were one of those bands where when they first arrived, I kind of took a listen and I was like, not exactly my thing.
I bought the first or second album.
Yeah, and I kind of didn't really think about him, but that cover was fucking great. And he said, I went back and listened to a bunch of the newer stuff, and it's like really good.
I wanted to recognize the song they did, so I went back to listen to the newer stuff, and I was like, holy fuck, why have I not been listening to these guys?
Dude, yeah, their album, like, I would say, because they're even, like, they're a band that I got into just from seeing them live, and I was like, this is incredible. And they had, like, I think their songs are really fun, but they even themselves, like, were like, man, we've had, like, just for our first few albums, like, they had a really rough time in the studio. Like, the songs, they sound fine, but, like, they have, like, albums that they're like, this one is mixed against our will. But I feel like the prime example of what that band is supposed to be and what they're supposed to sound like is their album From Parts Unknown, and it was recorded at God City with Kurt Ballou, and that thing really like brought them hard back into my life. Because that there's everything on that album.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Dirty like 90s metalcore, and then there's like some shit that's like, is this Slayer? What's happening? Like dirty gutter punk stuff, and I love that they've just been really riding that, and like there's some incredible Southern rock and roll riffs in there. They're a band that just wants to like just compete with themselves with their own riffs and just have a really good time. It's cool.
No, I mean, that's all stuff that's what I love about all the Kvelertak records is just like they'll just pull from whatever, which is a thing that a lot of people attempt, but then making it sound so fucking good and like it's cohesive. Like, that, I mean, I think the perfect example, and we made Andy Patterson when he was on, Andy's the drummer for Sub Rosa and a bunch of other bands, made him listen to whatever you say it, Brat to Burn, the song
or whatever.
Whatever. And it's just like that song is bonkers. Like when it hits the like weird Blue Oyster Cult bridge or chorus, and you're just like, what the fuck is happening?
It's got like hardcore breakdowns.
And then it's got like a shredding lead, and he goes, air guitar, come on. And I was like, you bastard.
Weirdly, it's kind of like Every Time I Die is the other side of the coin of like a Kvelertak, because there are no guitar solos. And it's all, and they're a hodgepodge of just like the grosser music, but they both meet at classic rock a little bit. Which is kind of cool. So it's definitely worth your time, because it's off kilter, and they have their own. It's cool that there are bands in this genre of music still that's old, but still feels they can create a thing that sounds very distinctly them. Like they have their formula. And it's only their formula. When
you said they're growing with you, I thought of I have an 18-year-old daughter who grew up watching Winx, which was a animated kids show about fairies, and now she's watching the gritty Winx reboot on Netflix. That's
the
like
PG-13 version.
No shit, that one's TVMA.
Oh really?
It's like ripping heads off and shit.
Damn, bunch of fairies.
So Winx is growing with our children too.
Winx, the Every Time I Die of anime. You'll love to see it.
All right, man. Well,
all right, so we have one last question for you really quick. This is the last question we always ask is your all-time favorite hometown band. Any era. They don't have to still don't have to be playing, but just your all-time favorite.
Boy. All right. From my hometown, I have to say I can't actually say the full band name, because I am a straight person, but there is in Denver, Colorado, we had a heavy metal version of just a heavy metal like kind of crypt keeper. We had like a gay crypt keeper named Maris the Great, who was just like he was this gay zombie, and the whole story with him was he and his band, Maris the Great and the I'm Not Gonna Say It of Death, were a punk drag. It's him, a zombie like emperor overlord, and then drag queens, and their whole thing was they're gonna kill it was very similar. It's kind of like a Gwar thing where they're just trying to kill every band, so they're the only band.
Captured by robots or something.
Yeah. And it's they are so funny and genuinely cool, and a huge influence on me and Two Minutes Late Night. There wouldn't be a 2 Minutes Late Night if there wasn't a Maris the Great.
The comedy, the metal.
Are they still active? Do you know?
I think he is making a comeback, or was planning to make a comeback until the pandemic.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
I would love to get in touch with. You just reminded me that I have to try to figure out how to get in touch with it, because I want to do something with him on 2 Minutes Late Night. Super funny.
To see that on video. Isn't there one in Salt Lake? Didn't you tell me there's
no, there's a one of the biggest heavy metal promoters in Salt Lake is a drag queen.
Okay.
So he books metal shows and also books drag shows and performs in them.
Oh, that's right.
So,
Fucking rules.
Yeah,
The rules.
I want to have him on. I need to get him on.
Dude,
that'd be
drag is awesome. I got into it like 5 years ago, and it's just the coolest art form. It's such a difficult. You have to be good at so many different things to be good at drag, and that's
Oh yeah.
more things than any other thing, and that's bananas. You have to be good at like singing and dancing
Costumes,
and making
makeup.
clothes. You have
Yeah.
to be funny, like really funny, not like me funny, but like really funny. It's hard to be. It's like if you watch like RuPaul's Drag Race, it's like 7. It's not just like a talent show where like everyone's good at one. They have to be good at everything.
All of
It's
it.
fucking
Yeah.
crazy.
Do your own makeup.
Are you watching the new season?
I am. It's pretty. These recent seasons have like they're trying to keep it fresh. And
Yeah, they totally.
God
Get a little
bless
corny.
them.
Yeah.
I really dug the Netflix show where they had or whatever it was on, where they had went to a small town and threw a drag show.
This is us.
This
Yeah.
is us.
That one was
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, that was good.
yeah.
So you guys performed at Psycho Las Vegas, obviously not last year, but the year before. In 2017, it was at the Hard Rock, and on the Saturday night, there were 2 things happening at the Hard Rock. There was Psycho, and then there was a giant like glamour ball.
Like
Hell yeah.
And the 2 crowds mixed so perfectly. It was like the happiest, most festive.
best thing ever.
Yeah, it was absolutely
Fucking
fantastic.
rules.
Yeah.
That's awesome, fellas.
All right.
I do
All right.
gotta
Yes.
run, but it was fun hanging out.
Yeah, it was great. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you,
Back to
guys.
work. Get some sleep.
Good luck with everything. Can't wait to see who the next 2 bands are going to be.
Yes.
Cool.
We were thinking maybe you would announce it during the stream, but
No,
guess not.
we have not cemented who's gonna do it. Like
Gotcha.
Haven and Every Time I Die was like can we do this? Will people like it? And now we're like, okay,
All right.
now we'll figure it out.
Perfect. All right, man.
Cool.
Have a good
All right,
rest of your
thanks,
night.
guys.
Thanks
Yes,
for your
thank
time.
too.
Have a good one. Take
Bye.
care.
Bye, fellas.
All right. Well, we stayed a little bit extra.
We got a little extra in there. We got, it'll be a good hour and 30-minute episode.
It's fine. You and I could talk for a long
we
time.
could,
now, if want.
we could. Why don't we just talk for the next 2 hours?
No.
Yeah, people would love that.
I was
Thanks.
gonna say I only had one more submission that I didn't play. But there was actually an interesting.
What was the game? I want to know what the game was.
Well, yeah. Here. Let's do the game.
Okay, let's do the game.
I'm gonna play with JD.
All right, the game.
Today's
You're gonna play the game with JD.
Today's game is guess that metal band's name by the logo.
Ooh. Wait, are these bands that we know? Or we just have to?
You just have to try and read the logo, my friend.
Okay. Shit.
All right.
Okay.
Da, da,
That would have
da.
been a fun game to play with Jordan.
Jordan's the right guy to do it with. But alas, sometimes you got to pivot.
You gotta pivot.
Sorry, I'll try to use less businessy language. Sometimes you just have to do something else. All right, so first one is currently known as Band 1. Let me share my screen here. Oh, who doesn't love some downtime? Ah,
There it is.
there it is.
Show it to me.
So if you're not watching YouTube,
Oh, I gotta look out over here.
JD's gonna have to look over there.
That is a bloody mess, is what that is.
Okay, that is actually
There's no fucking writing in there.
there is. If you zoom, if I zoom in, you can. Well, you just gotta trust me. There's some writing somewhere in here. There's some writing. Basically, what it looks like is just 3-dimensional blood dripping through a bunch of holes in the ground. Okay, you ready for the answer? Give me your guess. Need a guess.
Olalgagok.
Ololagagok.
Yeah, that sounds like a
So
Black metal name of some
oligarch
sort.
and agalok
yeah,
mixed
yeah,
together.
yeah, totally.
All right, so this is this band is named Sink Shower.
That was Sink Shower.
That was Sink Shower.
Sink Shower.
So yeah, Sink Shower. So if you're not on YouTube,
Is this somebody that submitted to us?
No.
Or just something you found? Okay,
no,
okay.
I just was reading
Sink Shower.
I was just
Wow.
reading an article about band logos.
All right.
All right.
Go
All right, let's
go look on YouTube.
Number 2.
Ooh, there's another one.
Oh, there's actually
Let's do this.
There's actually 3. There are 3. All right, so now I'm going to share the second one.
Fuck off.
Everybody go on YouTube.
Pause the podcast. Go to YouTube.
I need to zoom in on this bad boy so that you can actually see it.
Oh, man. You can't just pinch zoom.
Dang, I showed you.
Oh, you blew it.
That was
I won't tell anybody.
Well, they're going to be able to see, I think. I don't know. Well, this is hard to see, and for some reason it's not.
Your little plus button doesn't work?
No, I don't know what's going on. Something to
Jeff
do
got
with
a new computer today, everybody.
Something to do with screen sharing.
He's trying to figure it all out.
Anyways, I'll just tell you the name
If
of
you
the
put
band.
it up there, it'll be huge.
I'll just tell you the name of the band because it's funny.
All right. It's very geometric. It looks like a Pac-Man pattern, but without the borders of the Pac-Man game. Just the lines and
The Maze.
Yeah.
That band, and look them up if you want to know what this is. Goat's Ass Trumpet.
What fucking shit? God. What?
Goat's Ass Trumpet.
Jesus Christ.
You don't think you would have gotten that eventually?
Goats? No. Oh, I can kind of see 2 S's in there, maybe.
Yeah.
Goats. Trumpet? No. Maybe a G. It looks more like a baby bottle in the middle.
And then,
Wow.
And then last but not least, since I'm not sharing my screen anymore, JD knows this one.
Oh yeah.
I'm just gonna share it for fun. This is a band that comes up on occasion. So when you have eye fatigue from having to look at the last 2 logos, you just go ahead and look at your good old friend.
Look at this.
Party Cannon.
Party Cannon.
Yeah. So look at that logo, which looks like the Toys R Us or balloon letters.
Yes, it does.
Orange and
Even
pink
the R's
and blue
backwards.
and green. They're death metal, black metal. They're rad.
I mean, I would go see them just for the logo.
100%.
That's like one of those things where you're just like, I have to know what this band sounds like.
I think they're counting on that.
Completely.
That phenomenon.
Right there, I'm like, I can skip.
Yeah. No, the last thing I was going to do is the Bandcamp selection this week.
You know what? Let's do it.
Yeah, there was a cool article that's about South Korean music.
Oh, was this the one about patriarchal? Or...
Yes. So it's a compilation of female indie rock musicians from South Korea called We Do It Together. And they interviewed a few people from a few different bands, and kind of the gist is, there's patriarchy everywhere, but in South Korea, it's, depending on where you're coming from, it's maybe worse than what you're used to.
Yeah.
And it still affects down to the very, like basic participation. Like you just don't find very many.
Like the gatekeeping is essentially just no girls.
Yeah.
Right.
Essentially.
It's not like you don't fit in. You just don't belong.
Yeah. And it does what, patriarchy does everywhere, which is it, keeps people from getting help if they're in violent situations because people don't believe women, sexual violence, discrimination, trying to make the world safe. And so it's a collection of indie rock bands, which is just not that common in South Korea, I guess. So the song is called, and I'm not sure if I'm even going to be able to pronounce it. The one that we were going to listen to is called Drinking Boys and Girls Choir Secret Revenge. Not sure if that's artist names or a band name and a song name.
All right.
But let's check it out.
I love Secret Revenge.
I actually like that a
It
lot.
was actually like it's upbeat and happy, and there was like those two sort of breakdowns in the middle I wasn't expecting. And they were a little heavier than I totally would have anticipated.
No, and there's a really fun slick trick right before they went into that last little double time section.
Yeah.
There was kind of a pause, and then just one little ding of the bell of the ride cymbal. It's just like so tasty. And I can picture the drummer's like, stops and he knows what's coming or she knows what's coming, and just ding, and then just jump right back into it.
That was really good.
Yeah.
I really like that, actually.
Well, and I mean, it's true. Like, what do we know about in America as people who aren't chasing after it, but just what are we exposed to in South Korean music? It's the boy bands. It's what are they called? BTS and all
just
of their contemporaries.
K-pop.
And then there's and that's not even, no, sorry, that's the, I mean, honestly, K-pop is the only thing I can really think of, and that is very much like 80s, 90s America, groomed and managed.
It's really funny though, actually. There's you wouldn't think it, but there's a really big and growing hardcore scene in South Korea right now.
Huh.
And they're fascinated with just like all of like the 90s hardcore from the States. And so like a lot of hardcore bands will go and tour in Korea because they make a killing.
Oh, wow.
Because like several hundred people will show up for shows. These bands that they're not, they're still maybe touring here, but not as much as they used to. But they go over to Korea and they absolutely kill it.
So that compilation can be found on the label's Bandcamp. It's electricmuse.bandcamp.com, and Electric Muse is a label that focuses on indie artists in South Korea.
Mostly female?
I don't know if it's mostly female, but they're definitely trying to call attention to female artists, and just flipping through the releases. The discography is like almost 80 records.
Holy shit.
On Bandcamp.
Wow, that's awesome.
There's it looks female heavy.
Yeah. It's very cute. Lots of cute covers.
Yeah, there's a mix even.
Yeah.
Whoever this Billy Carter is very popular, it would appear.
So
yeah, check it out. electricmuse.bandcamp.com.
Go read the articles on Bandcamp. Find new bands. There's a lot of really good shit, and they do a great job of sort of accruing all of those bands and that music.
Actually, let's go ahead and listen to one other thing.
Should we do it?
We don't have Jordan anymore. This is the last thing I picked, just to keep it simple.
All right.
Last submission is a band called God's Ground.
God's Ground.
Bandcamp.com. The artwork and the photos on the background, definitely give me like a, stonery vibe.
It's going to be stonery. I'm maybe leaning a little more towards the psychedelic.
Yeah, they're from Munich, Germany.
Oh.
They're fine young cannibals. And this is actually what they sent to play was actually a live recording.
Oh, wow.
So
right.
August 2020, God's Ground.
That's pretty bold.
It's a 10.5-minute song called Letter Full of Wine.
All right. Let's see what it does in the first minute.
much here is the same. Yeah, let me be, let me be. Sweet path in these oceans, flattering the way. Arranged you.
It's almost 2 minutes in. It's definitely live.
It's definitely live.
It's actually kind of got like grunge ballad vibes.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Yeah, and you don't hear it very often, but because people who play, heavy music that's tuned way down don't often play clean.
Mm-hmm.
But you really hear how low something is when you hear those chords ring out on that either baritone or way tuned down guitar. Yeah. I'm curious. I'm curious. At some point, it's going to slam. I would assume it's going to slam into action.
Yeah,
but I mean,
get that about halfway through and keep listening.
There.
I want to hear this produced.
Hear it.
Like, I'm kind of digging it. The funny thing is, it's kind of smart to send us a live track because then we can't really nitpick the production.
Yeah. Well, no, live can be produced well.
No, it totally can be, but it's like less to be nitpicky.
Nitpicky. Well, so let's go back to the first thing on here that is a studio record. God's Ground, The Great Delusion from 2018. It's like they have 2 live releases from 2019 and 2020. And then the last studio, they have a bunch of records.
Why does that cover look so familiar? Is it
this?
Click on that cover.
This one. So right now we're looking at an album cover for their record.
Where have I seen this before?
The Golden Age. I think it's people who know
Is
art.
it a paint? Yeah. Okay.
People who know art would probably be able to refer you to similar work. It's a little bit like a less grotesque Bosch.
Yeah.
Lots of figures, lots of different stuff going on, lots of little mini scenes.
Yeah.
Little, people bent over a river with flowers sticking out of their butts. That kind of stuff. So if I just piqued your interest, that's their album, The Golden Age. But let's listen to the newest from. They want us to listen to something called Canine Con from God's Ground, The Great Delusion. That's the song that starts, which is track 1.
There we go.
It wasn't a minute yet.
Really? Yeah,
it's good.
The vocals could have come up a little more. Maybe it's my headphones.
Yeah, no, but, I don't think it is. And a little tough love, and this isn't aimed exactly at God's ground, but listening to that and then listening to the live recording, obviously of all the people playing instruments, I think the singer is the one who is, the most. Not at the same level, just in terms of the the quality of the instrument. If your voice is your instrument, then you're competing with everybody else in your band, and their level of expertise or whatever, the work that they've put into it. So sometimes with music like this, when you have a singer where you're not confident about the vocals, or if staying on key is a problem, the vocals will get buried and layered and kind of disguised. Somewhere in there he has there's moments of really good singing. So what I want to say is that don't be afraid, even if you're a singer in a metal band and you don't, and frankly I've met very few trained singers in metal bands in heavy music. Don't be afraid to go get some fucking training. Like I practice bass. We take lessons. I think a lot of times, especially in DIY and metal and heavy music in general, it's sort of like, oh yeah, he's it's very infrequent that the sound in the band is crafted around the vocals. A lot of times it's about the music, and there's so much intense focus on writing, the stories, and all the layers and stuff. You don't want to make an instrumental record, so someone kind of like takes
somebody needs to do
somebody
some
takes
vocals
them for the team and does the vocals. And again, this isn't.
I was guessing that this is not a standalone singer. This is either the bass player or the guitarist.
You think?
Yeah, I think it's
probably plays an instrument. I don't know. It probably says that somewhere in here, but no. The message is, you're not stuck with whatever voice you think you have. I know tons of singers. We've talked to people on this podcast, like Amy from Year of the Cobra, who do lessons in person over Zoom. You can get the Art of Screaming. I think it's called the Art of Screaming app on iPhone and Android. It costs maybe $30, but it's all these lessons, particularly and specifically aimed at singers who sing in heavy bands, who need to be loud and who need to reach some of those weird voices that you have to do carefully so that you don't damage your vocal cords.
You don't ruin your voice.
How many tour vans have you been in where the singer does warm-ups every day before a show? In heavy music, because they all should, and it should be part of everyone's routine, even if you don't think like the vocals and the singing are the center of your music. Just improve. Take the opportunity to.
I think that's where there's a lot of bands that think that that's goofy. You don't warm up your voice. But you warm up everything else. The drummer warms up. The guitar players warm up. Everybody warms up. It's not goofy to warm up your voice.
And what's weird about vocal warm-ups is you can do them 4 hours before a show, and they're just as effective physically for your vocal cords as doing them right before you sing. So you can do them in the van on the way to the show. Don't be afraid to. And I'm not, like I said, I'm not.
We're not talking at God's ground.
Well,
I mean, kind of. You could tell. Like I said, you can tell that I don't think they're not. It's not a singer-based band, like you said.
And sometimes that's a choice, and
it's good.
And sometimes that's a necessity because you just don't have someone who can pull it off. But you can improve no matter how old you are, no matter how much time you've spent singing, how many bands you've been in. Like, it's a thing where you can swallow your pride and just take some vocals. They look goofy as fuck.
Yeah, they are goofy as fuck.
Trust me. Well, no, and that's why I think like that I think it's called the Art of Screaming app is so cool, is because you get all of these detailed lessons on very specific things, but it's all in video form. So you can't obviously get feedback, although I think you can cut a deal with her where you can send her clips and she'll send you feedback. But just the warm-ups alone on that app are worth having, but then the lessons on top of that are great. Or get over your suck it up and go take lessons over Zoom or something with an actual live human. Everybody's still teaching over Zoom. So.
Yeah, exactly. And the Art of Screaming is not a sponsor of Blynd Submyshynz.
No,
we wouldn't mind if they were, but no. We have no sponsors. Anything we are pitching is because we love it.
Here you go. You want to meet the sponsors of Blynd Submyshynz? Ready? Raise your hand.
these guys.
Yeah, here you go. We are the sponsors. So cool. This is something that I've been chewing on because I think it's like not weird in the context of heavy music. No one thinks it's weird when the guitar player goes into a room and plays for 8 hours a day, or when the bass player, or when everyone tries to learn some theory so that you can improve your vocabulary for songwriting or for playing. But it's not. I found at least it's much less common for the singer to do that same work. And I don't know exactly what the blockage is, but if that's a blockage, if you're a singer and that's something that's been stopping you or holding you back, just think of how much more awesome it would be to go on stage and sing if you really had the full confidence that you've got the training that makes sense for you and put in the work, so that you don't have to worry like that. You go see a band and the singer can't really sing that well, and you're just like, what's it going to be like tonight? And you just wait for the moment when it hits, and you go like, oh yeah, that's right, I forgot about that. You can improve that. So
100%. Yeah, 100%. You can, and that's always the worst, because there's so often you hear an album and the singer sounds great because they've done so much production on it, and then you see them live and the singer fucking sucks.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh god.
No, yeah. So, do it. And for the most part, those singers know that's the position they're in. And hey, the model is out there, even in like mainstream heavy music. If you take a band like Mastodon, they came up talking to Jordan. They're an interesting case of a band that never stopped pushing themselves. Now, regardless of what you think about everything,
dude, they should have made Remission 8 more times. I don't give a shit.
If you hate everything after Leviathan, I'm not talking to you. Those dudes, three guys in that band, all sing. And if you watch live footage from 2007 and live footage from last year, it's a whole different world. Yeah, because they put the work in to actually like maximize their individual potential as far as singing goes.
I think there's probably also those bands that are like, I want to sound like Remission, I don't want to sing.
Yeah, sure, totally valid. I'm not saying, although it has come up a bunch of times how interesting it is when a singer has total command of a normal singing voice in a bunch of different ranges, but then the ability to slip into different voices as well.
Completely.
The high scream, the low growls, the guttural stuff.
Well, and there's the big difference too when you have a vocalist that can actually is the instrument and sings over the top of the music. It fits, but it's its own thing. It's not the guitarist who's trying to sing. He sings where he can. Yeah. He inserts the vocals to where fits when he's not doing anything too complex with his guitar.
Yeah. Well, and you see how that hampers. Even Mastodon. So with Braun singing more, they have to write those parts so that when he's singing the verse, he's going to sing it live, and he's got to be able to play the drums that he wrote for the song while he's singing the song. And so it even impacts. That's a choice they made, obviously, to not bring a separate singer on board. But
that's gonna be weird if they had a singer.
Well, they did in the beginning. He just never made it to record the record. Yeah, someone who knows more about their prehistory will be able to tell the story.
Somebody send us an email.
Yeah, but there's definitely originally a singer there that wasn't any of them.
Interesting.
Because I like good singers and I wish there were more of them. Yeah. So everyone who takes a crack at it, fuck it, spend $30. That's the worst thing that happens to you, and you don't get anything out of that app or whatever. But even better, find a vocal coach, because they can actually teach you things.
Yeah, yeah. There was another app that I used for a while that was very similar. Like you could hit the notes and it would tell you, and you would sing into it, and it would show you, like, it would try to keep you within that range, like, so you didn't exert your voice, or like you weren't singing it quite under. I mean, it was great.
It was measuring pitch and volume, so it was like telling you if you're pushing too hard.
It was pretty awesome.
And then where you are relative to the actual note that you're supposed to be singing.
Yeah. I mean, it was all through your phone, but
It works. If you have a decent pair of headphones,
Yeah, exactly.
plugged into your phone, you just look like a weirdo walking around the house. Yeah. I mean, look, that stigma is real, man. Like I walk around the house playing bass. Maybe it's annoying.
Yeah,
but nobody really bats an eye. But if I
walk
walk around
the house singing at the top of your lungs,
singing into my phone at the top of my lungs, I'm going to hear about it. I get it.
I think I do that all day. I just sing the nonsensical songs that I make up. And
yeah, I mean, and that's another thing is, especially when you're first learning how to play music, there's like a vulnerability to it because it's like you're making art eventually that's other people around you can hear. And so a lot of times people are hampered from practicing because they're like embarrassed because their family can hear them or whatever. So like find your space, find your way so that you can have the privacy that you need in order to put the work in. Some people don't give a shit and they'll just play all day in front of you, behind you.
Piss people off.
Yeah. But for some people that's a real thing. They just like they don't play because they just don't have a good space to do it in where they feel comfortable. And it's all changed now with all of these amp modelers, and I can just I can fire up the workstation, plug my bass into the audio interface, dial up an amp and just practice. And all my family can hear is the slaps and the strings hitting the frets and stuff.
Yeah.
But I hear full concert.
Hoo-wee.
Bass solo concert in my head. It's my favorite thing.
That was the sound of a slapping bass.
That's
just what they sound like, right?
That's gonna get us an explicit tag. And speaking of this, just for our
that note,
good friend Justin Rogers.
God, that was a good segue, wasn't it?
We need to talk about corn.
Ooh, and you know what? I wonder if we should talk about Fieldy's Dreams instead.
No, we're gonna watch some Fieldy's Dreams. Have you ever watched this?
No.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I don't. I'm scared. For anybody that doesn't know, Fieldy is the bass player for Korn.
Yes.
He is known for his sound of strings that literally hang loose off of his guitar that he plucks with his fingers.
Yeah. So, yeah, here's a guy that maybe should have spent some more time with the teacher.
But hey, look at he's found success.
He's got justification for it though, because he's always like, I just wanted it to sound more percussive, or something like that.
Oh.
This is a real B&H customer story.
Oh, is it?
Jack
now?
and Barbara, professional wildlife photographers and B&H customers.
Okay.
B&H is not a sponsor of Blynd Submyshynz podcast.
I swear to God, B&H is like taken over.
I do like B&H.
YouTube. Look, it's like,
oh wow,
YouTube's called like B&H. Oh my God.
Oh my God. See, look at that. See.
So if you're watching the video, he even just has like loose strings.
His hands are under his strings.
We are listening to Basically by Fieldy, the solo album.
There's a whole album of this.
Oh yeah.
It's just an album of Fieldy bass solos.
Yep. With like weird stuff on top of it.
Is it a band, or did he do all of the instruments?
No, he just played the bass. If that even.
So it's like free jazz with bass, sort of? Or you just... Oh my God. What the fuck?
then I say, yo, check this out.
Wow. Oh, Jesus.
What?
My seat just fell through.
Oh no. Corn. There you go, Justin. For you, Fieldy's beautiful solo album that he like crowdfunded on some website.
Oh, this is crowdfunded?
And
People paid for this?
Yeah, and I guess what happened was he like dragged one of his roadies on tour would have to like bring this gear, and he would just like randomly record shit when they were on tour.
That kind of sounds like that,
doesn't it?
Actually, yeah.
It sounds like
How long ago did this album come out?
a couple of years ago.
Jesus.
Yeah.
All right.
That's a hell of a way to end it.
Ending this shit on Fildy.
I just had to get that out of my system.
Ooh-wee.
All right. Well, hey, I Jordan is a super busy dude, and I'm really glad that he took the time.
We got an hour out of him.
Got an hour. I'm gonna drag another hour out of him.
Yeah, I think we'll have to for sure.
Here.
For sure.
Because he's obviously got. I mean, shit. If you're talking about kind of the virtuous circle of creating your original art, which is the music, and then, wrapping the visual stuff and making videos out of it, and then figuring out how to get the world outside of you from your house to listen to it, the guy's got it all figured out.
I wonder, do you think I could figure out a way to blend internal communications with heavy metal and music?
Yeah, for sure.
Make a living out of it?
Well, comms. Yeah, it's all straight out of comms.
Straight out of comms.
Yeah. No, I mean, shit. Internal communication, and that's.
I guess in a way, we're already doing it.
It informs everything you do as a promoter, as a person who has to organize.
Hells yeah.
Podcasts. Yeah, we have different skill sets.
Yeah.
JD's better at email than me.
I'm so much better at email. What?
Like keeping up on shit, like checking the spreadsheet and making sure stuff's organized, and like sending thank you messages back to the bands and all of that.
I'm like
shit.
an administrative assistant.
Well, no, you're like you're like a guy who understands comms. I'm just like,
Durr. So you've got all this important stuff, the stuff that gets us out into the world, so people can hear us.
The blinky lights, my silky smooth
voice,
recording techniques.
Yeah, put that right up against the microphone, Jeff.
Okay, you probably don't even know this exists. Do you know that one of the effects plugins I have to run on every audio track with people speaking is an actual tool, an actual recording tool called a de-esser.
A de-esser?
That's a technical
really?
term. Yeah. Yeah.
That's all the out of the.
That's what it does. The de.
Nice.
So I have to de-ess.
You have to de-ess everything.
Yeah.
Nice. Woo!
Before doing this, like my rudimentary understanding of recording, and then had never really dug into all the plugins available for recording.
Is de-essing as fun as de-hing?
I don't even know what that means.
There's probably a small group of people that might be just a Utah thing.
What?
Well, because in Utah you don't do naughty things, so you DH, which is dry humping.
Yeah, I
But
know.
we call it DHing. One time I jumped on an elevator and there was a DH button. I was, in my 30s and I lost my shit. I thought it was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. What happens when you push the DH button?
Some unwelcome stranger comes up from behind you and starts grinding.
I think DHing is only a Utah thing. Oh, you
No,
morons.
the act isn't.
The act isn't.
No,
just the term.
The term is. Oh, what a just a gross, dry humping.
Levi Lovin. No, not Levi Lovin either.
We didn't need 8 euphemisms for dry humping because we just said dry humping.
Oh, we did.
Levi Lovin.
If you don't talk about it, it doesn't exist in Utah.
Yeah,
That's how it works.
Yeah, that is a certain side of our culture for sure. It's like when you learn those weird things about people or places that bother you. I was out with a friend once. We were in Vegas and splitting up for the night because he was going to go to a strip club, and he goes, "But I gotta change." I was all okay. He's like, gotta put on my strip club pants. And I was like, what?
Oh, Jesus.
I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, you can't wear jeans to the strip club. And I was like, I don't need to know any more about this. Please stop.
Oh,
I don't want to know.
oh God.
Well, no, you got to wear something like thin and silky. And I was just like, get out of here.
Oh, it's got to be thin. So yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
I did not know this.
strip club pants.
This is another part of life that I never got super into.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think in Utah, you just probably had such minimal exposure to the whole concept.
Oh, there was plenty of them.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, I always looked at it like gambling. It's like just a waste of money, and it's not that entertaining.
You're just. Anyways.
Okay.
So wait a minute. I gotta. So I mean, maybe you don't even know because you never went. But is a strip club in Vegas like the 2% beer? Like what? like wear a short parka.
You mean in Utah?
I mean, sorry. In Utah.
I'm like in Vegas.
No, in Vegas.
No, it is similar with the liquor laws because I think it was tied in as well. I'm not saying sure. I've never been. I'm just saying it was never my thing. But no, it was maybe similar to the rules here too, where like you couldn't, like they were dry. Like if they were topless, you couldn't drink alcohol.
Yeah, that's
something like that.
That's full nude, no alcohol.
Yeah, full nude. It was similar to that, and they closed early, and I don't know. I mean, everything in Utah closes early. I don't know. I can tell you all the liquor laws, from before I moved here.
Yeah,
but not the strip club laws.
It's just funny. It just never occurred to me to think what a strip club in Utah would be like.
Yeah.
So now I have all kinds of funny images. And does everybody have to go to Park City to go to the real strip club?
No, but it used to be that you had to go there to go to the real bars.
Yes, I do know that.
Yeah,
I definitely spent time in Utah before things changed, when that was like
you used to have a private club membership that you had to buy, or you could buy a temporary membership to go drink for the night. Yeah, it was good times.
Thou dost protest too much, Utah. Yeah. I think we have all learned exactly what that's about. If you keep telling everyone a thing is bad and that they shouldn't be doing it, you're probably the one doing most of that thing.
Bingo. Yep.
Honestly, my favorite in Utah, because I think this is a little bit different, is the workarounds, because there's so many restrictions for food and drinks and alcohol and whatever, but it's like everyone collectively agreed to ignore the intent of the law and to just focus on the letter.
Oh yeah.
So it's like, I can't have, what is it? Can't have caffeine.
Well, that's not a law. That's a Mormon thing.
That's a Mormon thing.
It was like warm drinks, and they usually come with caffeine. But then the Mormon, there's like a Mormon family owns the Coca-Cola distribution company, Swire. Swire Coca-Cola, one of the largest in the United States.
So as long as it's on ice, it's fine.
Yeah, I guess so.
Fucking hell, man.
Oh yeah.
Or if you're ever curious, go look at consumption of prescription antidepressants
and the rate of plastic surgeries.
So
exactly.
Past Florida and then get to Utah, and you might be surprised at what you see.
Oh, you will be surprised.
Sorry if I'm insulting anyone from Utah. I don't mean.
I think anybody from Utah that listens to this show will just be nodding their head, going, "Fuck yeah, god damn it!"
Well, it's like, honestly, the first time I went to Utah, when I was like not 6, or like old enough to take in what was going on around me, it was sort of like, the first time that you're exposed to anything that's like, it's like the first time I went to a Catholic mass. Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I was like, we got to go to you can only get beer at this store, but only less than 2% alcohol. And if you want, it's like, what are you talking about?
What do you mean?
Well, and then we all have our own biases, because like in California, pre-pandemic, we could go to a brewery and have them fill a growler as long as they tagged it and sealed the top and wrote the name of the beer and the alcohol content. And meanwhile, in Oregon, you can bring your milk jug to the
brewery,
to the gas station,
Get it filled
and fill it with beer yourself. You don't even have to talk to anyone. So
yeah.
And
yeah.
the Oregon beer nerds come to California and they're like, "What? You can't fill up my 64 ounce insulated
big gulp
thing?"
Yeah.
No, so
Yeah, it's I mean, it is funny though because every religion, I'm pretty sure that not everybody follows it to the. I mean, kind of the point, right? If you obey one of the rules, you should obey them all.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's
focus on like the important ones that
Yeah.
really impact people's lives.
Yeah,
And maybe not so much on the the weird vestiges of we don't have health care and we don't know how science works and we haven't figured out how to keep meat safe without a freezer. Like focus on the stuff that impacts the heart and the soul and not not whether your drinks are fucking hot or cold.
Yeah, seriously.
It's so weird.
Seriously.
It's all and I'm gonna start an atheist podcast. That'd be fun.
There we go.
The thing that always boggles me is that they all think they're the right one and they all don't think I think they're all equally fucking ridiculous. I got a religious studies minor in college because I was raised without it and was absolutely fascinated by it. And I had one class where I actually went to services. Like it was all about understanding the service of the religion, like the traditional.
Yeah.
So I went to, I don't know, 30 different various religious services of all kinds, all different religions, and they're all bonkers. Like there wasn't one that I walked out of and went, yeah, that made sense, except for maybe just like meditating at a Buddhist temple.
Yeah.
Right. Anything that's like has, and that's kind of because a lot of Buddhism strips out the ceremony and it's just about the individual pursuit.
Yeah.
But man, go watch a Greek Orthodox or a Russian Orthodox church service, or really take your pick. They're all in my eyes, they're all weirdos.
That's crazy. Yeah,
like
for real.
Like the Mormons can go, the Scientologists are weird, and the Scientologists can go, whatever.
Yeah,
are weird, and I was like, you're all weird.
Yeah, exactly. The atheists are like, you're all weird.
Now let me go back to slaughtering this child.
Yes.
Drinking his blood so that I can get my whatever the fuck they think they're getting out of the kid's blood.
Yeah. Oh god. And something chromes. It's something
adrenochrome.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we're going off on a tangent, aren't we?
Well, that's what happens when
we got 3 hours to fill.
Now, when a guest leaves us early, we can fill a little
then
time.
You can get to know us.
I think we can end off on adrenochrome, though. I think we can.
I think that's a good ending.
You know what's funny is this is the extent to which you have to think of all different kinds of things when you're putting stuff out into the public that's going to be associated with you and your name.
Yep.
Is I pulled the band logos that I pulled, the weird looking band logos, and I pulled 3 of them, and I went, I should probably just double check to make sure that one of these bands is not like a white nationalist and one of them was like a gore grind band, but specifically all the songs were about mutilating children and doing stuff to children. And I was like, nah, there's another stupid logo.
Yeah.
That's why we ended up with
sink tub or whatever the hell it was. Sink shower
instead of the child focused gore grind band whose logo I picked originally.
There's a point where it becomes a little much.
Yeah, I agree. I have a hard time figuring that out too. Watching violent stuff on TV and watching violence towards women or towards children, like we consume it. My brain always trips over, and this is probably a topic to get me in trouble with, but my brain always trips over when they make movies that you as an adult watch, where you are to believe that the character that you're watching is a minor, and then that character does adult things.
Oh yeah,
like movies about older men seducing young women or older men seducing young men or whatever. It's just like, is this okay?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I'm supposed to believe that person's 13. Is this entertainment?
Yeah.
But then I watch people kill people all the time, and that's entertainment. And it's fucking confusing, man.
It's so confusing. Yeah. Yeah.
I think
I hear you.
I think there's something important though about intention. I think you can read the intention to
Well, yeah,
understand.
the intention is to like, educate, inform, because this is something that had happened. Like a lot of movies are like that. Like this shit happens in the world and it's fucked up. But, I think some of those where you just like, there's no meaning behind it,
Or
no
it's
ulterior motive or
I'll even
meaning.
go with dumb entertainment is fine. It just can't be exploitive,
Yeah.
And that's actually changed a lot. Like when we were kids, if you knew there was a movie that was R-rated that you were going to watch, you were pretty sure you were going to see a naked lady. You were gonna see,
that was why I rented rated R movies back when I was 12 years old.
And often just a non sequitur, like somebody walking through the hallway, tits out or whatever.
Oh yeah, it was just it had to be in the movie.
And as I think hopefully as actors and actresses sort of took some power, people just started saying, yeah, we don't need that.
Yeah.
And hey, writer, don't write that scene because it's not necessary.
It's not necessary.
And, guess what? I'm not going to do that scene.
Yeah.
I'll do it when it makes sense to me or when it's necessary. So
we should, eventually maybe we should talk about that with music too, because there's a lot of bands, especially bands that are like in the doom and sort of stoner genre and metal in general. I mean, it's been super like they, completely objectify women.
Yeah.
And, anytime I come across a new band and there's, some woman with a tight shirt and her boobs are half hanging out and like a really tight, like anything that objectifies, I'm like, you know what? I'm not even going to listen. Like I have no interest.
Yeah. I have a no naked ladies policy in band art. For sure.
I mean, it's just not necessary.
What
what is it saying about your band? Like, is it telling me what I'm about to hear? And if that's what I'm about to hear, I don't know.
So counterpoint.
Ooh.
Who was I was listening to an interview or some long-winded bullshit about why rock and roll isn't mainstream anymore and all people listen to is hip hop and R&B and stuff
because they took the sex, drugs, and rock and roll out of it.
because rock and roll's not fun anymore.
Yeah,
which is bullshit.
Mm.
I know plenty of rock and roll. It's mindless, goofy, fun.
It's not glam anymore, but
and it's not like exploitation by default. Anymore, which is kind of where we were not very long ago. It was
a point in time where you had to do that.
Yeah, the formula was like we need the girl.
Yeah, we need the hot babe,
the video girl. We need the video girl, and that's more common practice still in rap and R&B than stuff that's popular now. What I do think is fascinating is the blowback after. Not after, but I keep hearing now because there's that song WAP, and then there's another Megan Thee Stallion song that got big. Then there's even what's the girl with the crazy high voice that Justin Bieber used to date? Super famous, Ariana Grande.
Oh yeah.
Even she's got like a fully explicit song that's like the title is two numbers that when you add them together equals 69.
Yeah.
And then the lyrics are not she's not hiding anything.
Yeah.
Three songs we get in 1 year, and every man is like, all the pundits are like, ugh, why is this what we want? Weren't they, didn't they hate when they were objectified? And it's like, yeah, that's the fucking point, dummy.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Exactly.
It's if you're not getting that point, you're like a willful asshole, not just ignorant. It's like, why those three? Because of the 300,000 that those three women have probably been subjected to in reverse.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Since the beginning of rock and roll. I mean, hey, talk about an art form whose origin was gross old man marries teenager. we started doing that in the very beginning, grooming young women and marrying them, like some of the rock and roll Hall of Fame greats. Man, that was their MO.
Jerry Lee Lewis,
Elvis,
his cousin, his 13-year-old cousin,
R. Kelly.
Oh, come on. We can do better than that, people.
We can do better.
You can find there's plenty going on in the world. You don't need to sing about TNA.
Yeah, honestly, it's one of the things we joked about it a little bit with Jordan, but it's come up before that Psycho event. Metal's got so many subgenres, and they all have their little cultures, and they have their their gatekeepers or non-gatekeepers. Do you fit the mold? Are you true cult? Like, are you allowed to be here? The genres that I gravitate towards, one of the things that attracts me is that the whole aesthetic and the content and the ethos is inclusive, right? So it's like, I think in stoner and doom in particular, you're way less likely to see a naked woman. I mean, you'll see them here and there compared to like power metal or traditional heavy metal,
100%.
and also way less likely to trip over bands that have questionable worldviews. And I'm not talking about the difference of opinion, but like basic morality that's not political or opinion based, like
completely
murdering people for what sex they are or what color they are or whatever. These aren't opinions, by the way. That's just bad.
Yeah. No.
But like, I feel like I have to police my choices a lot less because as a genre, we've just sort of said we're going to move forward and focus on other stuff.
Oh yeah, completely. Yeah. Completely. We're going to sing about wizards and dragons and smoking pot. And
See, how can you argue with any of that? That's the beauty. That's the beauty of it. It's stupid, but it's like you can't argue with it though because it's fucking awesome. And if you say like, someone would suggest a TV show or a movie, and for a while there I'd go, "Are there goblins in it?"
Yeah.
And if they said no, I'd say, then I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
Right? I'm purely consuming goblin-related art.
Singing about things that don't exist, like wizards and goblins and dragons, that's fine. It's totally different than thinking about pretending to murder babies.
Yeah.
Like, that's not fantasy.
Yeah. Well, and guess what we, people in fantasy, what they like about fantasy and superhero movies and whatever else is it gives you kind of an abstracted vehicle to talk about those concepts without having to present them, to talk about them sort of metaphorically or symbolically.
Now we just need to get people that write the fantasy music and the fantasy bands to step out of their genre, because the fantasy there's a lot of the metal where people sing about wizards and dragons and stuff. A lot of it sounds really similar. It's a lot of power metal. It's like, okay, let's can people let's get some of the other stoner doom fantasy stuff. Like, I think that's why I steer away from it, because it all it's almost a little too corny.
No, this is what you're talking about. Like Sturgill Simpson or Hank III needs to write an album about wizards and dragons.
Well, and Sturgill Simpson kind of did.
I mean, we're coming with this is a weird route that we're taking, but that is a really interesting thing about what Sturgill's done is he's just said, fuck all the conventions. I like what I like. Yeah. Here's my new album and the anime that goes with it. Mm-hmm. Suck it. Enjoy it or not.
Here you go. Yeah. I love it. Yeah. Exactly.
Well, and that cat temper is really an exercise in fantasy too, taking this industrial music and then creating a world where there's cats that have names from Boston songs and slaughter mice, and it's great. I just like world building.
Yeah.
I think it's really fun to take what you know about this world and then try to represent what you think is good and bad, or how people should live, or how you want to live, or how people should be treated, metaphorically, and not so directly. It's part of why I probably never really got hard into, punk rock and hardcore, because I like fantasy. I got all that shit. All those problems are in my everyday life.
Yeah.
and I don't need them in my, it's like, I know the president's an asshole. I don't need a song about it. And if I do, make him a dark wizard and put him in a castle somewhere and give him a different name. Like, then I don't have to associate it with, with the current situation.
But then you always get the and this, style choice again, but then for some reason you always get the screaming guitar solos and the same galloping bass and the same, to me, it's always the same. The music is the same.
Make all music fantasy, as far as I'm concerned.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that would be amazing. Could you imagine a hardcore band that sang about wizards and dragons and shit rather than the problems of?
I want to meet that in costume prog hardcore band.
I mean, in a way, to another, I already did it, but they were no longer a hardcore band.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, because
it's,
they're not cult anymore.
no.
Because they're singing about wizards and dragons. And I saw one of them
novels and
I saw one of them drink a beer. He was drinking a beer backstage. I don't even know if they're straight edge.
Some of them were.
Some of them were.
Yeah.
I feel like
Vegan
that's
straight edge.
I feel like every ex-hardcore band, if you go, hey, where are they now? And weren't they all hardcore?
Aren't they all straight
They
edge?
are.
Yeah.
Weren't they all straight edge? They were.
They were. That's pretty much how it goes.
How about now?
There are some who held true to death.
Yeah.
But no, for the most part, yeah, nobody is anymore. But it was funny because, and I don't want to go off on a tangent, but they were a band.
What else are we doing?
Here we go.
Strap in,
Mark,
motherfucker.
once again, he's come up twice, but Marcus Evans posted a link to a really
Bass player
old,
from
yeah,
Zed.
Whiplash. Oh yeah, bass player from Zed. Whiplash, which was this New York thrash band, and from like the mid to late 80s, and Into Another was made up of the bass player from this thrash band and this classically trained guitarist, and then these two guys that were in hardcore bands, Richie and Drew. And and Richie was like, he had this other band. Oh my God, I can't believe I'm just about to forget what it was called.
You are.
It was with Chuck Treese, of all people, like skateboarder. Holy shit. Oh, people, sorry. Don't email me.
Yeah.
But he was in a band that like had this like early sort of reggae kind of inspired hardcore. It was like post Bad Brains, but so it was like he's always been super creative, but it just the fact that this band came out of the hardcore scene is so weird, and the fact that the hardcore scene actually adopted them as their own is still just confusing as shit to me.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
That's
All
good.
right.
we just went on a big old.
How was that for a tangent?
We just
broke the 2 hour mark just because you and I can talk.
It's a big old loopy path.
Yeah. Whew.
Hey man, I just have to go home and clean the house after this. So.
Well, I'm gonna have some dinner.
Ooh, that sounds like a good plan. What should we eat?
I don't know. Should we tell tell all of our listeners what we're gonna have for dinner?
No,
I have no idea.
You tell me what I should have for dinner next time. Justin.
Ooh.
Justin Rogers, this is for you. I
Yes.
need one solid restaurant suggestion
That's on DoorDash.
in the South Bay, preferably on DoorDash, but not necessarily. I'll drive for good food.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. I think that is a good place to end
Ooh, you think anybody actually even listened to the last hour?
it. Justin will.
Yeah.
Corn.
Tell you what, if you listen to the last hour and you're not just I'm just kidding. I'm gonna give a prize away. No.
You could. Don't you have another record to
Well, have we given our records away yet?
I picked a person in contact.
You did?
Yes, but I have not mailed it out yet.
Okay. Well,
okay.
it's because I have it here at my house. I need to give it to you so you can take it home.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, or I can mail it.
That would work.
Give me the address. Yeah, just so everybody remembers, when we reach 100 YouTube subscribers, I think we're at like 70 maybe.
All right.
We are going to give away that King Buffalo record. And Jeff already gave one away. So we'll see.
All right.
We'll have to do some more giveaways. I mean, hey, if you're a band and you have stuff you want us to give away, send it over here. We'll promote you. That's what this show is all about.
Absolutely. Hey, so just one last thing to prove my point. So I'm on my wish list page on Bandcamp right now. So these are all the songs that I've wish listed that we've covered on the show.
Yeah.
I'm scrolling down. No tits. No naked ladies.
Nope.
No tits.
Don't send it to us. We
No,
won't
no.
play it.
No naked ladies. I'm not saying that. I'm picking these. I'm picking these. We're picking them before we see the covers.
You know what? That's true.
Yeah. But so there would be no way to know.
Yeah, that is very true.
The first actual, no, there have been a few women. But yeah, look at this. As we keep going back and back, I can't find anything.
Nope.
Back to the first episode. The raunchiest picture so far is lovely Paul.
Look at that sexy beast.
Paul Aspal and his Black Country Disco. Dude's killing it.
Dude.
Releasing a second record, all remixes of the first record by famous electronic artists and DJs around the world.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, Paul.
Yes.
You're a hero.
Do not, yeah, I was going to say do not, when it comes to electronic music, don't listen to our opinion.
Yeah. Hey, you want a copy of Paul's record on Bandcamp? Fuck you. You can't because they're all sold out.
Sold out. Top 10 lists everywhere across the board this past year.
Every variant.
Awards.
That's the next short. We need to get that.
We need to get Tom on our show.
I know. We need to get
reach out.
that Blynd Sub shorts just of the Black Country Disco discussion.
I need to do that for sure.
Looking at you, sir.
Yes, I'm on it. All
right, everybody. Well, we pushed us way.
We
over,
really pushed
20 minutes over the hour mark, the 2 hour mark. We did it.
Oh man, woo!
All right. Well, we can't leave people with this
they expect at least 2 hours from us.
This lightweight half episode. Then we're not talking about the bands.
Yeah.
So cool. All right, everybody. Well, that was another episode of
Blynd Submyshynz.
Blynd and Submyshynz.
Blynd Submyshynz.
Are we out?
We out.
Thanks for joining us for another week of Blynd Submyshynz. See episode description for links to all artists discussed in this episode, and visit their sites to support them directly by buying music and merch. Share links to the podcast or YouTube videos with your friends, especially if they're in bands. Bands, if you want us to listen to your music on a future episode, please submit one song to blyndsub@gmail.com. That is blyndsub, blyndsub@gmail.com. Bandcamp links preferred, but not required. Find us on social media at Blynd Submyshynz. Full video episodes are available on our YouTube. Remember, we go in blind, so you don't have to. Blynd Submyshynz.